Hello. Plenty of weather going on between now and next year. It looks like there'll be a lot of rain in the forecast during the weekend and also some strong winds. The winds at the moment coming up from the southwest. That's why it's mild for England and Wales. But for Scotland and Northern Ireland, the wind's coming in from the northwest. And here it's quite a bit colder. Outbreaks of rain that have continued through the day in the far north of Scotland will push south during Friday evening. And the snow level will lower, perhaps even some snow to lower levels for the north of Scotland, but certainly snow accumulating over the hills. Either way, I think ice will be the main hazard for the north of Scotland with the colder air in place. Northern Ireland, southern Scotland seeing one or two showers, but across England and Wales, after a brief drier interlude, further spells of rain and strong winds push up from the southwest as we begin New Year's Eve. And it looks like it will be a wet start for much of England and Wales. A mild start though, 13 Celsius in the south by dawn on New Year's Eve. Much colder for Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England, and in some parts of Scotland -6 Celsius where we get some shelter from the wind and where we've got some snow cover. In between the mild air in the south and the cold air in the north, we've got this area of rain across southern Scotland, Northern England, parts of North Wales and Northern Ireland. That will fall as snow, I think, for the Pennines, for the southern uplands as well. It will tend to fade away before the next area of rain moves up from the south into England and Wales during New Year's Eve. So the rain on and off, there'll be heavy at times, perhaps some issues with that for South Wales and southern parts of England. And after the icy start for northern Scotland, things tend to brighten up here with just some coastal showers by the end of the day. I think north of the Central Belt, New Year's Eve is looking fine. It's going to be crisp and cold, but there'll be some brighter weather around as well. So you can see that 10-degree temperature contrast from the north of Scotland to the south of England. And there'll be further wet weather pushing up from the south during New Year's Eve evening. That reaching northern England, southern Scotland, Northern Ireland by midnight. But it's touch and go whether it reaches Edinburgh for the Hogmanay celebration. Certainly to the north of the Central Belt, it's looking clear and cold as the clock reaches midnight. And for southern Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England is looking fairly damp with some heavy rain in places. That's the wettest area, I think, during New Year's Eve evening, because after a wet start to the evening further south, things do dry up. There'll be some clearer spells. It will still be windy, that wind coming from the southwest, so it's mild, but a blustery end to the day here. And some further showers reaching West Wales, southwest England and the south coast as well by midnight. Those showers move through from the west and the south during the evening and overnight. And the rain in southern Scotland pushes into central Scotland, with snow falling, especially over 200 metres across the Grampians and Highlands. So once again, it's a marked temperature contrast as we begin New Year's Day. Very cold in the north of Scotland, much milder in the south of England and for much of Wales. Showers, though, really the name of the game for New Year's Day. It looks like the more persistent wet weather will stick to central Scotland, but elsewhere we've got this returning polar maritime air mass, which typically brings us quite showery weather across much of England, Wales, blustery winds as well, some more persistent rain for the north of Northern Ireland into parts of central Scotland, that falling as snow in places. Another 5 centimetres, perhaps above 200 metres, but very little accumulations below that. Showers also to the south of Scotland, northern Scotland, but some brighter weather in between, and that temperature contrast continues, staying cold in the north of Scotland, staying generally milder elsewhere, especially in the south. And then into next week, the weather stays very mixed. There'll be further wind and rain at times, but some drier interludes in between. And across the whole of the UK, after a cold start to the week, things do turn back to average.